was freezing cold outside and I was dressed in all the warm clothes that I could possibly find. I was lying on the floor of a bombed-out hospital in Beirut in Lebanon. I'd left the United Nations following the massacre of 2,000 women and children in that camp. I was a 33-year-old nurse and I continued to stay in the camp and work there with the Palestinian nurses. And I was dealing with many shattered people as well as nurses. There was a lot of emergency assistance which flows into a situation like that, but it was very obvious that the shattered health workers needed help to re-establish their working lives. At the time, I was working with Norwegian solidarity workers, and I was really impressed by the way that they were working with the Palestinians in a really lovely sense of solidarity with them. And I thought, well, Australian workers should be doing some of that. I was inspired by those workers, just the notion of their solidarity. I came back to Australia, did some talking around, and eventually met with Cliff Dolan, the president of the ACTU. He liked the idea and he took it to the ACTU executive, and they approved it towards the end of 1983. In January 1984, we had our first board meeting. Soon after, with the help of Australian trade unions and nurses, we were able to start our first training program with Palestinian nurses. APHEDA's work skills training programs were up and running.
Union Aid Abroad, APHEDA, on behalf of Australian unionists, has played a crucial role in campaigning for social justice all around the world. Today, Union Aid Abroad APHEDA has over 60 projects in 16 countries and has worked everywhere from Eritrea in Northern Africa to Laos in Southeast Asia to the Solomons in the Pacific. We focus on projects that provide the most practical benefit to the communities that we work with. In long-term refugee situations, such as in the Middle East or on the Thai-Burma border, we focus on healthcare training or agricultural skills training so that people have reliable access to food or to basic healthcare. In poor countries like East Timor, we focus on literacy skills so that people can fully participate in their own villages and so that they can assist their own children's education. We support workers' efforts to organise to ensure safety at work. For example, in Vietnam, against asbestos use, and in Cambodia, assisting beer promotion workers who work in the entertainment industry. We believe equality for women is essential for lasting change and for improving standards of living for women. For example, when women have the chance to learn to read and write, they're able to earn a living and bring an income into the family, which obviously benefits the whole family as well as benefits the women themselves. In many communities, Union Aid Abroad helps fund women's leadership programs to help build skills so that women can fully participate in their workplace, their village and their refugee community. As unionists, we know that a living wage is crucial to lifting living standards around the world. And that's why Union Aid Abroad will always put workers' rights at the centre of its work. Union Aid Abroad APHEDA is our global justice agency. We, as unionists, get to set its directions and priorities. For 30 years we've done this. Let's make sure it's here for another 30 years.
Since the very beginning, Union Aid Abroad APHEDA has had strong support from unions and union members right across Australia. As union members, we know that the values of justice and equality are at the very core of a fight for a better life. And in an increasingly globalised world, we know that the fight for workers' rights in one country is a fight for workers' rights right around the world, in every country. Union Aid Abroad APHEDA has these strong values at its very heart. And we know that when it works with others, it respects their skills, their knowledge, their experiences, wherever they come from. Donating or supporting Union Aid Abroad APHEDA is not charity, it's solidarity. So I ask all Australian unionists to donate $10 or more a month to Union Aid Abroad APHEDA, because we know that when we unite and work together, we actually fight for all workers, no matter where they are, and we fight for a common purpose and a common future.